Welcome to Comically Comics, your one-stop listen to all things comics. We're talking books, movies, TV shows, video games, and more. I must forewarn you, though, we are a spoiler cast, and what that means is we consider all properties, past, future, and present, to be valid, and we will spoil the hell out of them. I'm your host, Michael, along with my two co-hosts, Richard and Jeremy, and with all that being said, let's get started. All right, it is Sunday, June 8th. I almost said January, I'm not going to lie. We're back, though.
I wish it was January.
Do you really?
I'm hot. Well, yeah, it's hot outside.
Okay, I was like, do you really want to start the year over already? Like,
No,
I feel like
no.
we've had a good run, so like, why risk it?
No, I'm with you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
It's hot as fuck out there.
100.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. But we're back. More Fantastic Four.
Brought to you by Dodge.
Mopar, bitch. Yes. Okay. We are back with Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. This is from 2007. The cast returns from the prequel of this, or the original Fantastic Four of this. Original release? Yeah, we're going to go with this. Original release. And they've added a few people here and there as the movie has continued on, which one of them being Frankie Ray. And I'm sorry to like kind of jump into it, but I did not realize that was Frankie Ray. And that was kind of like
I don't know this. What are you referring to here?
So the military lady, her full name, credited name is Frankie Ray.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So for those of you who don't
know that.
Yeah, is that okay? Anyway, just go ahead.
that everybody was talking about, we should get Frankie Ray as the Herald of Galactus in this upcoming Silver Surfer movie if they want to do a female Herald. And, you know, there was Frankie. I didn't realize this was Frankie Ray.
Yeah, I didn't either.
At all until I was like rolling through Plex and it was showing the cast and I was like, Frankie Ray, are we being serious? Like, surely that's got to be the same Frankie Ray. Like, why else would you have a Frankie Ray in Fantastic Four? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like it's the Silver Surfer is here, Galactus is here.
Right.
It's probably just a nod to that character. I agree. If there was a third movie, maybe they would have set her up to be, what is her name? Like, I don't know. I didn't even know her name was Frankie Ray, but what is she called when she becomes?
Is it? She was Nova or something like that.
Is it
Nova? I think
remember.
so.
Okay.
Which I know that would cause confusion and all that other jazz too. But
yeah.
But yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, that's kind of. I agree with you. I think it's just a nod. I don't think it was ever going meant to be anything. So as we're diving into this, let's go ahead and get Whelmings for that.
Yeah.
Jeremy, what is your Whelming for this?
For this one, I will say, whelmed to pleasantly whelmed.
You seem so unsure of that.
Yeah. Well,
You seem conflicted with yourself.
Yeah. No, I was just trying to remember everything, obviously. And but at the same time, I was comparing it to the first one. Yeah. And
Which first one?
know.
The Roger Corman or the first one?
Oh, no. The first Jessica Alba one.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'll say like I'm pleasantly whelmed, but like on the lower side of it. I think.
Got you.
Maybe.
Again, you're conflicted. I'm conflictedly whelmed. Richard, what's your whelming?
Yeah, I kind of echo that in the sense of I wrote down I'm whelmed to pleasantly whelmed. I'm not like I think this is better than the first movie, but like that's with a huge asterisk. Because this movie is like, it has some bad things with it. Like, it is not a perfect movie at all, but mostly it's Doom for me. I think they get Doom more right in this one. And that's really kind of what sells this movie for me.
Got you. So I'm going to go 100% with the whole, like, there's things that I like about this movie, but there's a ginormous asterisk that goes along to it. And honestly, I am a solid meh when it comes to this movie. Like, I'm not whelmed with it. I'm not underly whelmed, but I think as we talk about it, I'll explain. It'll make more sense as to why I'm at that meh. But there are things that I really enjoy and that I really like about the movie, and I thought they did a really good job with. So it almost seems unfitting, but at the same time, it's like I can't have those things like hold the entire movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I honestly don't have a whole lot to really even say about this movie. Like, and part of that is because for me, this movie is like an hour and 30 minutes long. We didn't really start getting action until like an hour into this movie.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest like drawback for me is that we have like an hour of like setup before the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four even meet the Silver Surfer, who is like causing mayhem on Earth.
Yeah.
Like,
I really think that was like the reason why I was being conflicted, because I just felt like there was just not as like, you know, most of it was about the wedding. It felt
Yes.
like, and then it just, I was like, so that's the reason why I was kind of more conflicted about it, because it just didn't seem to hit very much on the action stuff. And I don't know. It was like you said, it was just very just moving through it in the beginning. Like, just let's keep going. Come on now.
Yeah. My wife was watching this and she like around the time the wedding gets ruined, she's just like, this is such a terrible movie. And I was like, it gets better once Silver Surfer shows up. And yeah, it's very like, it just drags on and there's just dumb like slapstick stuff and just bullshit drama for drama's sake. Like, and then we finally get to like the interesting plot, which is Silver Surfer showing up. And yeah, no, I totally agree. I get some of the setup, like you need like what happens with Doom to happen so he can show up, but that literally could have just been like a 5-minute scene. And not that he takes up like a whole lot of the plot anyway, but still, I was just like, come on, can we get to the good part? Because once we get like investigating what Silver Surfer's doing and all the sciencey stuff, and like that's when it really kind of like, okay, we have a movie here.
right. Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
And it's not even like I need action to be entertained, but like just so much stuff at the beginning is just like not like they're on an airplane. Like it's like almost like a scene from Home Alone or something. And it's like, you know, Ben's like sitting in between two people, and it's like, haha, look at the, you know, like fat guy essentially sitting in between, which they established in the previous movie that he's like, what, like 1,000 pounds or something like that. And I'm like, what are those seats made out of? How is the the plane would have to basically like, we can't put everyone's luggage on. Matter of fact, we're going to probably have to kick some people out because we have a certain load we need.
Right.
There's the weird like
stick them into the cargo area.
Yeah, exactly. Like one thing I've seen this movie a ton of times. One thing I never noticed at the beginning is when they're in the airport, Ben Grimm is like signing autographs, but he's like grinding his fingers to give them like the dust of him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's weird, right? That's gross, right? Like, here's some DNA, kids. Like,
it's rock dust.
It's like it's like those things like where they do the filing on like the heels of people's feet or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Get that nastiness.
Yeah, like the nasty like flesh dust.
Callus.
Yeah.
Crap.
That seems like something Angelina Jolie would sell for like a charity or something like that.
Probably.
Like,
have it in a vial around her neck.
yeah.
The other thing that I meant to mention in the previous movie that I didn't mention here is because we get it right off the bat, like the very first scene with her, is Jessica Alba is an attractive woman, and they give her blonde hair and blue contacts in this, and it looks this is the one that I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if it was the first one or the second one. It's this one that they're so distractingly bad.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, oh, what are you doing? Just let her be her like self. Like, she doesn't need, if you wanted a blonde haired, blue eyed girl, cast that. Don't cast Jessica Alba and then put her in a bad wig and blue contact. Like, I don't know. It was just very like jarringly bad in this, especially because the last movie, they dyed her hair. This one, it's a wig and it just looks bad like most of the time throughout the movie.
It does straight up look like a wig. I did notice that more this watch, that like her hair was very distracting. It's funny because I've never really noticed any of that with her, but it's been so long since I've watched this. And my wife, I think this is like her first time ever seeing it. She's like, "Oh, those contacts." And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Oh, those are bad. Those are real bad." And I just started laughing. She's like, "What's so funny?" I was like, "Apparently that's very notorious of this movie, that like people noticed that." And so it's just funny that I didn't say a word to her and she started commenting on it. I feel like at that time
My
period,
wife was the same way.
was she?
Yeah, oh yeah. Immediately picked up. She's like, "What is that?"
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I feel like at that time period, those contacts though were like really popular. Those like very. I feel like that's with the times. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm just remembering wrong. But I feel like there was like a small stint there where like very saturated like contact lenses.
Yeah, you could give yourself like green eye, like bright green eyes,
right?
Or those like hauntingly like gray eyes.
Yeah. I feel like that was a thing.
I don't know if it was 2000s, but I do know what you're talking about. I mean, there's still kind of a thing. People still do it every now and then.
Yeah.
But still, it's just so bad looking.
For this, I definitely agree, because like she was fine the first movie. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like why mess with it? So I'm with you on the slapstick. Like that. Like, why do we need to watch Reed reach across the thing to find a luggage thing to help him relate to us, the crowd, of like how bad it is to be on an airplane?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We we don't need that. We don't. I found the Silver Surfer parts and the Doom stuff, like you're saying, Richard. That was the most interesting stuff. The Fantastic Four, their wedding, like all that stuff. Like, to me, this could have been a 45-minute and done movie.
Yeah.
Like this, in all honesty.
Yeah, the wedding I enjoy for just one scene and one scene only. And it's probably my favorite Stan Lee cameo.
Yes, that was good.
Because if you like, for those that don't know, like Stan Lee loves the Fantastic Four. Like, his matter of fact, Sue is modeled after his first wife. Like, that's originally.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. He got divorced from her, but still his first wife was Sue, was modeled after her, and he loves the Fantastic Four. It's like one of his favorite creations. So like for him to be at the wedding of Sue and Reed in like a live action is probably like really cool for him. So I love that moment. And then I love the like, no, but I'm Stan Lee. And like, yeah, sure, whatever, buddy. No, I'm really Stan Lee. Like, it's a very funny meta joke. I enjoyed it.
Right. I'm gonna be real. Again, Alicia Masters still the so for me for a little bit. It's just a normal character or whatever. Freaking her and Ben Grimm are like relationship goals. I'm just saying. Like,
yeah, she's.
I love that.
Yeah, no, she is. I saw. By the way, I apologize. I saw while the credits were rolling, like the starting opening credits, we get Kevin Feige's name.
Oh,
he's credited as an executive producer for this movie. I decided then to look back up, and I don't know how I missed it, but he is credited as a producer as well for the first one. So,
cool.
Yeah. So
nice.
Anyway.
So I guess one big thing that I was going to ask, and I think I know the answer to this, but
yes,
does his power
42.
actually come from the board? Does it
No.
really?
No. What are we?
Wait. What was 42? Like, wait, what?
I was wondering why you paused. I was like,
it was a joke.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so that's not a thing.
No, that's one of the points of I appreciate it for this movie because it's a way. The board becomes the MacGuffin. Like that's an actual term used in movie. Like it's the thing that like everyone's seeking after to move the plot along.
Yeah.
And it's what Doom gets to get the powers of Cosmic to do his own machinations. But no, that is not a thing. Silver Surfer has like used his powers plenty of time without the board being near him, or sometimes he'll like absorb the board into him because the power of cosmic can just make you can do fucking whatever with it. Like it's anything.
Yeah.
It's like magic, but not. It's science magic, if you will.
Okay. So it's not and it wasn't like the quote unquote beacon to draw Galactus there.
No. Usually the beacon is just Silver Surfer going like, I don't know, telepathically, cosmically, I don't fucking know, but he's just like, hey, Galactus, you can eat this one. This one's good to go. It's medium rare, your favorite. We're good to go.
Hold up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll sit there and say, like, the CGI for Silver Surfer was lacking in certain parts. However, I feel like overall, Silver Surfer, they did a good job. Like,
yeah.
For as far as his powers being from the board and stuff like that didn't really bother me. I don't really know all the backstory lore though with Silver Surfer, so maybe that's why it didn't bother me. But what's his name?
Norrin Radd.
Lawrence Fishburne?
Yes, Lauren. Well, which one? The one doing the voice?
Voice, yes.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne.
Love his
Wait, there was-
voice. I'm sorry, what?
There was a different guy doing the voice than there was actually playing
Yeah.
the character.
Yeah, it was a whole Darth Vader thing.
Yeah, Doug. Well, not really Darth Vader. Doug
Oh.
Jones is I don't know what the term is, but he. Okay, so you've seen Hellboy. You know Abe Sapien,
Right.
the fish
Fish
man.
guy.
Yeah.
That's Doug Jones, but that's not his voice. That's Niles from Frasier's voice.
That's right.
Doug Jones
Yeah.
does a lot of like, hey, I'm going to go full prosthetic and I'm going to stand in and pantomime and say the lines, but we're going to get a different voice actor to go over my voice, which I don't know why, because the TV show, What We Do in the Shadows, he's like almost like a Nosferatu type character.
Mm.
And his voice would have been fine for Silver Surfer. It's not like a 1-to-1 with Lawrence Fishburne, but it does, like, he can sound, I think he's British. But anyway, regardless, I do like Lawrence Fishburne's voice as well.
Yeah, I thought it was really fitting for the Silver Surfer. I thought it gave him, I don't know. I just like the sound of his voice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, with Silver Surfer, I don't know. I liked his story. I thought everything was good with him.
I like it for the most part. The CGI, I think back in the day it looked fine, but the part where
Yeah.
he like goes intangible through the building and Johnny is like, oh, that's so cool. It looks bad now.
Oh,
Like Johnny or the building?
Well,
part?
actually, I was going to get into that. I think the fire effects look better in the first movie than it did in this one, especially like when
Yeah.
we get multiple people being like fire versions of
Mm.
themselves. But the biggest issue I have with Silver Surfer is like near the end of the movie, which is when he becomes a Teletubby to explain a bunch of exposition.
what?
His stomach turns into a TV.
Oh.
I wrote
remember
down,
that
it's
now.
like, oh, I had to look these up because I didn't know the names of the Teletubbies, but it's like, oh, look, it's Dipsy, Poe, Tinky Winky, Lala, and Norrin Radd.
Yeah, so there was one scene where he was in space, and I was like, it was after he took Johnny up into space. He
Mhm.
caught him after that chase scene, which I thought was a decent chase scene.
Yeah.
And I thought the CGI there looked a little wonky, but I'm not gonna lie. Like when he came through the building or whatever, and
Mhm.
like they slow mode it down, and he's like facing
Mhm.
straight on. I was like, that's probably one of the best introductions that I've seen in a long time with a character. Like that was solid right there. CGI didn't look bad to me,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe I just didn't pay enough attention. But I just the way that they presented it, I was like, that's a badass moment. Like
Yeah.
y'all did solid there.
Yeah.
For me, it's when he leans through Sue's invisible shield.
Oh, that was a good moment too.
I love that
Yes.
moment because you're still on the fence of like, is this guy a good guy, a bad guy?
Right.
Like, what's going on? And he's just slowly moving through the trees, and the trees are like rippling away from him.
Yeah.
And then she puts up the shield, and then he just leans through it like it's, I don't know, fucking water or something. And I was just like, that's cool. Like, that's a like, oh fuck moment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I I didn't mind the correlation that Nornrad had with Sue comparing him, her to Shalabal. We don't get a name drop though, do we?
No.
I don't remember getting a name drop for Shalabal.
Yeah, I was waiting to hear it, but no, we did not.
So I didn't mind that at all. I thought that was, that was probably okay, little tie-in right there. But if we're going to talk about the Silver Surfer, and I mean, I know we just talked about some good things. We got to talk about Galactus here. Like,
Oh yeah,
how bad of a ball did we drop here with Galactus? When it's like they tried to do the same thing the Green Lantern did. I don't even know which one came out first, but with this whole cloud of danger and doom, like, and even when they did a shadow going over like Saturn,
yeah,
it had the hat, it had the profile of like Galactus,
yeah.
and no, it's just a sandstorm in space. That's it.
That was the biggest cock tease ever. Like where we see him shrouded in silhouette, or not shrouded in silhouette. We see him shrouded in that big cloud constantly throughout the film. And you're thinking, oh, maybe they're doing like the movie thing where like you don't reveal your monster till the end or something like that. And as he's passing through Saturn and he's fucking up the rings, we see the silhouette of him and it's making his goofy looking hat. And I think I remember seeing this in theaters and being like, oh shit, we're going to get the actual goofy purple, like helmeted Galactus. And then, yeah, I'm not going to lie. Like my disappointment was through the roof with like, oh, it's just a weird fucking like storm cloud. Like that's fucking lame as shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to this day, I think I defend it in the sense of as bad as CGI was back then. Do you really think they would have made a good looking Galactus? I'm still not sure the one we're getting is going to be good. I'm still on the fence on that one.
I hope so. Man,
Yeah.
Come on now. They can do it. They can do it.
Well, I mean, like, what would make it so difficult to do necessarily? It just because he's, I mean, from what I know, like he's just like a big guy kind of thing.
Yeah, he's just a
that'd be
big
coming
man.
through, or
He's just a big, like,
I mean,
well,
'cause
he can change his size. So depending on it, he can be big enough to like palm the earth, or he can shrink down to literally our size.
Well, wasn't that kind of like what we got in the Eternals?
Yes, but Jeremy, the Eternals came out like 2 years ago. This is almost a 20-year-old movie.
Well, no,
You're talking about for
no,
now.
I'm
You're talking about
like
the
as
movie
in
that's coming
worried-
out.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
okay.
worried about this
Got
next
you, got
one.
you.
Yeah, because
sorry.
I don't know, like they still hiding it. So I'm very worried that
Yeah.
like, I think they're hiding it because they just want that to be a big reveal for the movie, but it could be that they're hiding it because it's kind of bad looking. We don't know.
And plus, the Eternals, like, I
Gotcha.
see your point there, but they also didn't have like facial features. It
Yeah.
was mostly just helmets. And I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like the other big battle you got to face when doing a character like Galactus is like he does look goofy.
Yeah.
And so to like sit there and make him look realistic, but also like somewhat comic accurate, or, as comic accurate as possible. Like, I feel like there's that fine line of like cheesy and like, oh shit, it's Galactus, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's a fine line there of what can you really do with a goofy comic costume?
Yeah. I feel like they're going to do fine because from like, we've only seen basically his foot and I think his eyes, but
Back of his head, yeah.
yeah, the back of his head. And the way they design his helmet makes it look like it's almost like a giant spacecraft. Like there's all this little intricate details that like, it's not just a solid sheet of metal. You know what I mean? So I think that helps it. I feel like this movie would have done the like solid, and it looks like he's maybe wearing spandex or leather or something, or like a
Yeah.
rubber suit. So that's why I'm just like, I really don't think it would have looked great if they did done the comic accurate Galactus. I think it just, in my opinion, what they should have done is inside of that cloud, we see his full silhouette and like maybe slight facial features. Like, in other words, like that cloud's there, but like as Silver Surfer's going up in it to defy him, we see inside that storm is Galactus, like the goofy man, but we don't see him in his full regalia. We just see him like a slight silhouette. We see his face, maybe glowing eyes or something, and a big hand like reaching out.
Well, I think you even would have maybe have wound up with some guy sitting on like a throne, and like the cloud pretty much just takes him around or whatever, and then he's got these things like the cloud feeds him essentially.
Yeah.
So I think you would have wound up getting something like that too, or possibly got something like that.
Yeah. I mean, which that works because he does have a ship. Like he does, like he doesn't usually just float himself around the space. He usually gets in his ship and flies to wherever.
It's floats around the galaxy, just mindless.
Yes.
Hunger. As much as Galactus was a disappointment, I will have to say, though, that Doom in this movie was better. I feel like he was like this plan of Doom's is straight up a Doom plan.
Exactly.
Of like being however many steps ahead, forcing everybody to pretty much willingly do what I need them to do so that I can get what I want. Like this is textbook Doom.
Yeah. No, I love everything about, like, we get Latveria. It looks like an Eastern European town. We see he's like, you know, before he gets released, you know, whatever happened to him in the last movie, we see he's put away with like all this weird like murals and armor and stuff. We see like some of his ancestors like painted on the murals. Anyway, he gets free. He's got like a fucked up face. He goes and meets with Silver Surfer. To me, this is very good retconning of like, okay, that Doom sucked, but we're going to retcon it and make him the real Doom. So they have Silver Surfer like blast him with the power cosmic and it somehow heals him, but he still gets to keep his powers. So instead of it being magic, he just shoots lightning, which I still don't like, but we get technology in this. We get armor. It's not quite like an Iron Man armor, but they probably didn't have like the technology to show all the like, you know, when like Tony suits up, the little like inner workings of his armor.
Yeah.
All the gears and stuff. But yeah, I fucking love this Doom. Out like spoilers, but out of all of the movies we're going to be watching here, this is the best Doom so far.
Oh, nice. You have me interested. So Iron Man #1, Iron Man, the first movie came out a year after this.
Really? Okay. I was wondering when that came out. I thought it came out in 2009.
May 2nd, 2008. It was released in different countries on dates between April 30th, 2008 and May 2nd, 2008. So yeah, it was a year later. And like, that's some solid CGI there.
Yeah. Cause that one still holds up. Like on it, like now knowing that, I take everything back I said about the CGI. It's terrible.
That changes your whelming there.
Yeah, no, that really does. I thought there was at least 2 to 3 years on this movie till Iron Man came out.
Not per Google.
That's bad.
Yeah, and Wikipedia. Yeah, so it's a fact now. Google and Wikipedia said it, so it's a fact.
Yes. So since we're talking about Doom, we have been asking this for all the movies. I'm going to ask it for the next one, but what do we think of this Doom compared to all the other Doom? So we kind of did already, but
I was going to say, you gave yours, but this is your favorite of all of them. Mm-hmm. So Jeremy, where are you at?
I'll probably have to say out of all of them, I think I like this one the most, if it is portrayal, but I still like in the very first one, the unreleased one, of them actually setting up that camaraderie there between them. Because you still don't really get that in this. You still don't know between these two that they had any kind of history necessarily, other than just working together type thing.
Yeah.
So, but as far as the portrayal of Doom himself, I do like this one the most.
Yeah. I think that they're both pretty close as far as like the motives and stuff like that. I just think this one was wrote better and it had better production values.
Yeah.
So I have to go with this one, but 94, I feel like is not far off, honestly.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, absolutely not.
But yeah, just because of production values and writing, I have to go with this one so far. So, but I've not seen the next one either. Like I've seen like bits and pieces. So.
Oh, it's so bad. One of the jokes I was going to make is it looks like a fucking crash test dummy.
On the next one?
Next one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's funny.
All right, so what about the thing? We had a running thing with that as well. What do y'all think about the because I have opinions on the thing in this one, honestly.
Okay.
And you wouldn't think so because like it's just the sequel, but like we did change Doom. We did change Sue Storm. And honestly, Reed's hair looks weird in this a little bit. Like it's almost
Wow,
like he's got a wig going on with his side. It's so weird.
That's so okay. That's so one of the things my wife was mentioning constantly in this movie, and I'm sorry to derail your thing.
No,
for a
you're
second,
good.
But she was like, everyone's
poor
hair
thing.
is terrible in this movie. And she was mentioning, she was like, Yoan Griffith's hair. She's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
She's like, the last one, they gave him the gray temples. This time it just looks like they shaved his sideburns.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then she was like, Johnny's hair looks real bad. And the guy, I can't think of the guy's name that plays Doom, but the guy that played Doom, she was like, his hair looks fucking terrible, which it did. I was like, it looks like he has helmet hair.
I mean, he was in that suit for a long time.
Yeah.
Like
Like it was like plastered down, but also like messy still. I don't know. It was just very weird. And then she was complaining about like Sue's wig and things like that. But yeah, I just thought that was weird that you mentioned that.
Well, see, to me, like in the poster, like for the new one, Johnny Storm looks like a dork.
Yeah.
Like his hair
Yeah,
looks
it's the hair.
terrible.
Well, it's
It does
because
look
it's
bad.
supposed to be like the 60s. So they're giving him that like terrible like bowl haircut almost. Like I agree. He looks like a
Yeah.
goober.
he reminds me of I
He
think
really
it's
does.
Fantastic Four number 50 or something like that. It's a notorious brown cover. It's part of the trilogy of like the
Mhm.
first appearance of Silver Surfer and Galactus. But it's a brown cover. It's got Silver Surfer on the front of it. You know exactly what I'm talking about if you're a comic fan. And down below in the corner, it's like Johnny goes off to college. Like that's what he looks like. He looks like that little like square box
Mhm.
from that comic is what the new Johnny Storm looks like to me.
And
it
I,
reminds me of.
I think that's what they're going for is like the classic 60s. That's why this is taking place in that weird, like retro futuristic, like universe. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna like sit there and like argue that he looks perfectly fine. Like, no, he looks like a dweeb. But like that's because it's supposed to be the 60s or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Fantastic's hair, that did throw me off in certain scenes or whatever, especially when you're like looking at him somewhat from behind, but at an angle, it's like,
Mhm.
what happened? Like, is that real hair? Is that fake hair? Is that like, it's dramatically shorter. And it's like, I don't understand what's going on here.
That's so weird because like I noticed Sue. I guess it's because I was just focusing on Sue's bad wig and contacts constantly. But yeah, the thing. What were we gonna say? I didn't mean to derail you about all.
What do y'all think of his costume this time around?
Looks good. I don't know. It didn't look a whole lot different to me on this one. At least I didn't really notice much. So yeah, I still think he looks pretty good to me.
I'm very nervous now because I think Michael's not gonna like this. I think this is the best version of Michael Chiklis because they did give him a more prominent brow ridge.
Mm,
It's still not Jack Kirby,
yeah.
but it is better. His eyes even look better, like the way they like did the makeup transition between like the prosthetic gravel face and then like his eyes. Because the shot where they're looking at the dried up Tim's, he's like wide-eyed, like gobsmacked, if you will.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you can actually see his eyes like really well in that shot. And anyway, I thought he looked better, but there is one part that I don't like, and it's his legs. He looks like he skipped leg day. Like he has like very like weirdly skinny legs for his like upper body.
I did not notice the legs. I don't like this one. I don't like this one at all. I felt like his face looked funny, and I felt like he looked smaller than the version before. And I just could be I'm remembering it wrong or something like that. Like I'll acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
But like he reminds me of the Goombas from the Super Mario Brothers movies. Is what he reminds me
God,
of.
that is. Woo, that's a reference right there. Ooh, those things look bad too.
Right? So
funny.
like that's what he reminds me of in this. I'm just like, what happened to Ben? Why is he so much smaller now? So I don't know. Like maybe I'm wrong, but it just I don't know. It looked off. I didn't like it. I didn't like it as much.
Yeah.
I did like when Johnny I like somewhat when Johnny kind of turned into the thing.
That's one of my favorite moments.
Oh,
Especially when he sees his teeth in the reflection of the like toaster. That's so funny to me.
When seeing the thing with hair, like that was pretty funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It looked odd. It looked really bad odd. And I like more of the relationship again of like Johnny and the thing in this, where it's like Ben got the powers of the Human Torch, so he's like throwing fireballs at Johnny's face. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the beginning when he's like flying in the airplane and he sees Johnny out the window and he shuts the thing. He's like, I hope it rains. Yeah, no, the Michael Chiklis and Chris Evans, their relationship, it feels very like older brother, younger brother fighting amongst each other kind of thing.
Yeah.
I do like it. And again, Chris Evans is kind of the standout character for me in this.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. I really like the Silver Surfer in this.
Okay.
I like the it never felt like it was weird having somebody else's voice on that guy.
Yeah.
And that just may be credit to that actor. Like he's just really good. I don't know, man. I really like the Silver Surfer. I don't like how he like changes colors though when he gets off the board. I know that was to emphasize like he's lost the power cosmic or whatever, but still.
I like it. It looks like he patinaed. And the reason why I'm laughing is I was talking with my wife and I was like, I think that's cool. It looks like it's like patinaing. And my wife was like, he looks like an aluminum pan that was put in the dishwasher.
She ain't wrong. She's not wrong at all. The color is spot on.
Hey, but he's I don't know why it made me think of this, but he's like that. At least you wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't be able to mix up the like non-stick and stick side of like aluminum foil.
Yeah,
thing.
for real.
That's funny. I don't have really anything else to say about the movie. Like I've kind of talked about all the good things that I liked. We've talked about all the bad things. Oh, one more bad thing, because I feel like I've got so much bad stuff to talk about this movie, which goes along with my meh. The fight scene between Johnny and Doom, like those CGI of like where he's like on fire but stretching around. I'm like, what? Like, what are we doing? What are those?
Yeah,
Like,
it is. Yeah, it's one of the ones that I thought the CGI looks so bad in that, especially because Doom is clearly like on a green screen.
Oh yeah.
Especially when when he's flying through the like air and they're in the fantastic car and there's just a lot of shots of him badly green screened. But yeah, and then we get the Johnny using all the powers of the Fantastic Four, which I think is supposed to be like a nod to the Super Skrull.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is another thing I'll just mention this. At the end, they talk about Venice sinking, which I know Venice always is sinking, but like, I think that's supposed to be a reference to Mole Man, because that's what Mole Man does, is he sinks cities.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that is what they're implying there. And then with the Super Skrull, I think with Johnny having those same powers as the Super Skrull, I assume those were like little winks and nods, especially now that you mention what's her name as the other Herald of Galactus.
Frankie Ray. Yeah.
Frankie Ray. I think those were all like little winks and nods to other characters throughout their history. But yeah, no, that is the CGI there is just bad. It doesn't hold up. I don't think it ever held up because it just looked odd. I remember back in the day. And it is the whole like, he's invisible, but on fire and rocky and stretchy. And it's one of those, it's like the technology just wasn't there for the time.
Yeah.
Pick a lane and stay in it, bro. What are you doing?
I mean, like we saw in Secret Invasion, the technology's still not there.
Poor guy. I think that goes with my whole, my whelming. Like Silver Surfer and Doom were the best parts, but like I can't expect that to be like that was really 30 minutes of this movie. Honestly, like I 35. I'll throw another 5 minutes because we got that whole chase scene and whatnot. Like you can't. I don't know. You can't do that. Not with an hour and a half movie. For me, anyways.
My favorite moment, and it's because I have body horror issues, but it's also like really cool, is when Doom kills the general.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
Like to this day, it's still kind of horrifying. I'm like, fuck.
I'm kind of surprised they showed that, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like it's like horribly graphic, but yeah, I mean, the dude's missing like half his head or something like that.
Yeah, he turned him into like rock or something and then just like crumbled him.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, I don't know, to me, terrifying. I love Johnny, like Chris Evans as Johnny. I love the part where he's hitting on the girl. Like that's probably his funniest moment, where he comes out of the bathroom and he's like, wait a minute, were you waiting outside the bathroom to catch me in a towel? And it like steams up. Again, it's because of Chris Evans. Like he just sells that scene for me. I think it's funny. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned it. I figured we'd get into it right off the bat because it's one of the worst things that happens very early on in the movie. The dance scene.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that, honestly.
It's real bad.
Yeah.
It was bad then. It's still bad now.
Yeah, no, the stretching everywhere, the dance moves, like everything about it is really a really bad scene. On top of that, it's like, he goes outside and he's apologizing to Sue kind of, and he's like, that in there, that didn't mean anything. She's like, oh, I know. I'm glad you had fun with like him dancing with these other girls and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, that was nothing compared to my bachelorette party. I'm like, what a way to start off y'all's marriage.
I know,
like,
right?
Yeah, really.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it's so. I hate, like, I even hate the part where Ben goes up to the bar and he's doing his little jig and he sees some like ginger with like an afro and he's like, ugh, and then he like for some reason is like super drunk and then belches and I was just like, what are we doing with the slapstick? Please stop this.
Yeah, I actually like Ben's dance moves. I thought that was funny. The belching part, I was like, okay, whatever. That's something my son enjoyed. So
I meant to mention this when we were talking about it, but when they're using the like tachyon pulse to like separate the surfer from the board, the general at one point fires a missile at Silver Surfer. And then Silver Surfer, deals with that. And then the general's like, open fire. And I'm like, my guy, you just watched him David Copperfield a fucking missile. Like, what is that going to do to any of this?
We need more missiles.
It felt very like Thunderbolt Ross kind of thing, where like they'll be attacking like the Hulk, and they're just like, fire everything, and it's like, sure, that'll work. I mentioned it at the start. What do we think of the blatant Dodge promotion in this movie?
Oh my gosh, that was terrible. Like even with the stupid Fantastic car.
That's what I'm referring to.
Like,
yeah, because I remember at the time when this movie was coming out, there was a commercial for the Fantastic car done in the style of a Dodge car, like commercial.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
Yeah. Where it talks about like all the horsepower and stuff. And then I think at the end it says something like, yes, and it has a Hemi.
That's all. That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of Thunderbolts, it gave me a Thunderbolts vibe. I was like, oh, they did it first. I didn't know that. Because, at the end of Thunderbolts, when they're the new Avengers, they have like
NASCAR suit.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, they did it first.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hate it. I was just like, it's one of those product placements that is just so, it takes you out of the movie for a second. And I'm just like, ugh. Like, I don't mind the part where Johnny comes out in the like whatever, he's got all the ads all over his costume.
Yeah.
It's the part where they like, oh, he built it, and then they show a shot of like the signature Dodge front grille with the Dodge logo, and then he's like, Hemi, which was like a reference to an old ass commercial. Like, sorry guys, we're old now. Like, it was old. It's old now that they like. I don't even think they do those commercials anymore. But still, it was just like, oh my god, that's so cringy to me.
See, I'm a Dodge guy though, so I liked it.
Well, that's fine. Like, I'm fine with like being a Dodge person, but like,
No, I know that. I know.
I don't know. It's just like
It does take you out.
it would
I
be
agree.
no different. Like, I like Coke, but if like Johnny was like, gee, I enjoy this refreshing can of Coke, and then just like is drinking it for like a full minute or something, it's like, what are we doing? Why are we stopping the whole movie for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like with the suit, like you said, that one that didn't bother me either. Because it was like during the moment of him trying to still getting money or like just promoting it or whatever. That's just him. It just kind of goes along with his character.
Yeah, exactly.
But whenever they brought in the car and like, because I even saw it in the little stitching on the seats, and I was like, oh no. And then they went and panned to the front end. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah. I don't know. It just, to me, again, I kind of harped on it, but it just brings it kind of to a screeching halt. The other thing that I wrote that annoyed me, and again, it goes to the slapstick, but Reed at one point gets Looney Tuned in this, where an explosion goes off and it hits Ben, and Reed is behind Ben.
Yeah.
And then he comes out, and I get it. He's made of rubber, but like, it's such a Looney Tune moment, and I hate it.
It was there, like done like on purpose, obviously, because like you could see him, like, and of course that boulder, whatever, coming through, and like the thing just stands there. Oh crap! And like, and Reed is standing right behind him. He doesn't try to budge, doesn't do anything. He just kind of, you see him adjust almost behind him, and I'm like, okay, like that one was a little much.
If anything, it would have been cool if he like
a little bit of a stretch there.
Yeah. It would have been cool if he like stretched his arm and feet to like grab, and then like turned himself into like a canopy to like catch Ben. But then it's just so much force, then he goes flying back or something like that. But I don't know. It was just very Looney Tunes. And then like when Jessica Alba like smushes him when she wants to like talk to him about something.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, there's too much like goofy Looney Tune. And it makes sense because this movie's rated, I want to say PG. It's not even PG-13. It's PG. So yeah, PG. So like, it came off very Looney Tune, which I was like, you're Fox, not Warner Brothers. What are we doing here?
Well, and when did Sue be able to like make things invisible? I don't remember that being a power of hers where she could like cast invisibility onto things.
I think that is a thing that she can do, but her powers over the years have like, quote unquote, evolved. Like,
okay.
Because it used to be that she could just go invisible.
Right.
And then it was she could go invisible and she has force fields.
Yeah.
And then it became that she could like go invisible and do other things like with her force field. So like that one dark moment where she tells Doom, she's like, oh, I can create a force field inside you and explode you. And I'm like, that is horrifying. That sounds like something out of The Boys. Like, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, she made like Reed's phone go invisible by just like looking at it.
And then the wall, when she was like trying to look through the wall.
Like Samantha from Bewitched or something like that, where she just wiggles her nose and it's like it's invisible all of a sudden. So
yeah, I'd have to, honestly, I don't know, Michael, because I'm not like the biggest Fantastic Four fan, but I want to say I've seen her like turn like other people invisible. So I think it is a thing that she can do.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong then.
The last thing I have is just something my wife said that I was just like, only you would say that. Is when the Thames are dried up, and my wife just out loud blurts, the mud larkers are going to lose their mind. And I was like, what? And apparently these are people who will when the water on the Thames gets low, they'll like go out and rake mud because it is a very old body of water. And it's been around since like, I don't know, 1700, 1800s. So there's like, they could recover like an old like golden ring from like the 1800s or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I was just like,
What?
I was questioning why there was no fish flopping around.
yo, because that water is so nasty from what I hear. I don't know for sure because I've never been there, but I
Yeah.
hear it's vile.
Oh, nice.
Like the Hudson.
Yeah, it's actually worse, I think.
Oh, wow. Well, all right, then.
But yeah, that's it, man.
Cool. Jeremy, you got anything else?
No, that's all I had.
Do y'all recommend people watch this movie?
Yeah, not necessarily.
I'm conflicted again.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, unless you just want to have a glimpse of Silver Surfer. I mean, I thought it was like I'm with you, Michael, as far as I enjoyed Silver Surfer in it. So if you want to see him, yeah, go watch it. It's decent, but just be ready to snooze for the first 30, 45 minutes at least, kind of.
Yeah.
That's good. You can get you a nice little nap in, and then you can
Yeah.
start the movie.
Richard?
I'm gonna be like contrarian here because I like this between the two Jessica Albas and obviously the Roger Corman. So I'm gonna recommend this one because spoilers for the next one. I'm not recommending that.
You've spoiled so much from the future episode.
We'll still get into it and I'll still say those things next week. But yeah, this is the better one. I'm hoping, like, again, with the Pedro Pascal one coming up, I'm like, please be good. Please be good. Please be good.
Right.
As you will now see, Jeremy, this is why I say that The Incredibles is the best Fantastic Four movie we've ever got.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I agree about that.
I'm going to say if you're a Silver Surfer or Doom fan, check it out. Outside of that, if you're looking for a good Fantastic Four film movie, for me anyways, it's snooze fest at first. When it does, like, when it gets good for the most part. But like before that, oh man, that's a rough one for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Cool. Y'all come back next week, as you've already heard about like a quarter of what Richard has to say about this Fantastic Four movie.
Damn,
You
I'm
want
sorry.
to hear
I'll
the other 75% of it. So
I'll just edit it out.
no, don't do that. Give him a little taste. It's almost like crack.
The first
They
one's
come-
free.
Yes. In the meantime, Jeremy, where can I find you at?
It's just a tip.
Don't be gross, Tammy.
They can find me on Twitch under the handle Night Fury GTO. That's Night with a K. And you can find me here.
Awesome. Richard, where can I find you at?
If you want to contact me directly, I have an X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram, a Blue Skies, and a Threads. My handle is Night Curry, night like day and night, and Curry with a K. If you want to contact us directly, we have a Gmail. Our Gmail is comicallycomicspodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to check us out on YouTube, possibly TikTok, we'll see. And Instagram, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics Podcast. And if you want to check us out on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics with an X. Dodge, grab life by the horns. Guts, glory, ram. That's my Sam Elliott impression. It's a terrible one, but that's the best I can do.
Yes, I approve this message. You can find me on Instagram, eBay, and Shortbox, 22_comics. You can also find me on YouTube at 22 comics. Thank y'all so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed as much as we did making it. Well, all that being said, say goodbye, Jeremy.
Bye, Jeremy.
Goodbye, Jeremy. Goodbye.
Time for Teletubbies. Time for Teletubbies. Tinky Winky. Tinky Winky. Dipsy. La La.
Lauren Red.
What?